Helen cried at the end of the movie, and I think she cried because it was so amazing for her to see what it means to everyone. I think that the end of the movie really shows how much her song touches so many people and what she has done with that piece of music. And I think that she felt that in the moment. I met Helen about 6 years ago. I met her at a dinner, and I always say how by the time dessert came around, I realized she had the most extraordinary story of her life and the writing of a song, and it was set during a time when it was really the rise and fall of feminism in the 70s. I walked out of that dinner and was convinced that somebody must have already made a film about her, and was like really shocked that nobody really had done anything to that date.
She was really proud of being called the Queen's
Yes.
Housewife Rock. I was actually talking to Jim last night, who runs her fan club, and he says that's how she still likes to be referred.
I think what's interesting is the way that phrase was somehow coined was often coined by men. And it was seen to be a put down in some ways. And I love that Helen made it something powerful and empowering and made it her own. She knows who she is as an artist, and she portrayed that. She wrote about that. She embodied that. And I feel like that's what our film does, is it really celebrates that.
And she was so inclusive. Like, she made songs for everyone. I think that was what was beautiful about I Am Woman, is it was a song for everyone.
I was sent the script and I loved it. I love a music biopic, and it's a very empowering story for women. And the character was obviously sort of the antagonist, but I thought that there was room to make him more human. And after I met him, he was so loving towards his family and Helen and really rooting for them. I wanted to try to bring a little bit of that, so that was kind of a challenge to walk that line of doing both of those things, I guess.
Tilda, did you get to meet Helen?
I did, but I chose to meet her after we finished filming. There's so much material, like there's so many interviews and so much of her performance videos, and I read her book. And I think it was really important for us to stay so present in the script and her life at that period. When you're taking on a real person that, you know, is so extraordinary, and it was important for me to have the room, I think, to be able to play and be free in that before meeting her, but it was so lovely to meet her afterwards.
You play such a fascinating character. What did you learn about Lillian and Rolling Stone?
I didn't know she existed, which is kind of crazy to me because she was kind of a pioneer in her own way. She moved to New York in her early 20s, and she just kind of started from scratch the same way that Helen did, so it kind of made so much sense that she then helped Helen along. Like, it was kind of such a beautiful relationship and friendship, and Lillian herself just had so much power. She knew everyone. She had a lot of influence, you know, people that she believed in, she promoted and helped create their careers.
Helen has seen it, and Jeff has seen it, and Helen's children, Tracy and Jordan, have seen it. They loved it. Helen was very moved by the movie. I said to Helen very early on, you know, I'm never going to get every single detail of your life right. I'm not going to get even the order in which maybe some events happen right, but I really promise you that in making this film, I'll honor the spirit of who you are and what your life has been and what your song has meant to people.
I sung that song so many times. I also really noticed that with Helen singing it. I think what's so beautiful over her career, it feels like it grows with her and it changes. Each time she sings it, it feels like it's a different story of her journey in womanhood. And every time I hear it, it means something different for me.
You get so close to it, and you get so close to the story, and you get to know the characters so well that now when I hear the song, I'm more emotional than I used to be.
When we first decided to make the movie, the Women's March hadn't suddenly happened. The Me Too movement, Time's Up, all those things had started to emerge as we got closer to production. Tilda and I actually went to the Los Angeles Women's March together, and it was really amazing to see people holding signs saying, "Hear me roar," you know, "I am invincible." I think now, with the hindsight of what women have done before us and what has come before us as women, the incredible progress that women have made, I think what's really poignant now is that people realize there's still work to do. There's still things to be fought for. And I think that it's amazing that those words still resonate in the same way. And I think that if you want to tell stories, that as women, we have so many unique stories to tell, and we have different ways of looking at the world. So I just really encourage anybody who is a young girl who wants to tell stories to find the best way to tell that story, whether it's making a film or making a podcast or shooting a video and putting it on YouTube. There are so many different avenues to being able to tell stories now, and to directing, which is really exciting.